Yes. So the stage for today. So identity providers integration with the BTP sub account level. So the yesterday we discussed about the backend system preparation activities, right? Backend system preparation activities we have checked it. So what components, how to calculate the apps, which apps you required based upon the apps. So what component we required in the our backend systems, right? So same as like here. So today we'll discuss about the IDP integration with the BTP sub account level. So why? Because so not the all the users having, why we need to provide the identity provider integrations, right? So why? Because if you have the P user ID, you guys are having the P user ID, then you are having. So few people they are having the S user ID, they are logging to the BTP, they are working. So what about the organizational users? What about the organizational end users here? Organizational, so end users here. So some users are, so they don't have any PID user ID. Will they need to create UID again? They need S user ID. So if the 100 users means 100 S user IDs you required, it does not required, right? So then why? So it does not required here. If you have email ID of your organization, suppose like so BTP user at the rate of mycompany.com. If the other so then if you have the user ID of this one, then users can navigate it, right? So users can navigate it, right? Users can go, so using this user ID, they can access the BTP also, they can access it, and also all the sub account, everything they can access it, right? Instead of using the single sign-on method. And also the multi-factor authentication methods, more security features purpose. So they can use it, all these identity providers, they can use it, right? So why they need to use the PID as user ID as here, right? Same as like concept here. So to avoid this kind of manual intervention, like manually entering the user IDs, passwords, and also more security like MFA, multi-factor authentication purpose on the BTP side, whenever you want to access, you can enable the multi-factor authentication also, you can enable it here. And also in the mobile device, you can create the app and you can actually, you can also create the, so you can also use the apps and everything, you can use it here, right? So this is called the IDP integration. And also in the normally in the on-premise systems, normally we will do, right? Single sign-on configuration, like SP nego configurations for the Java Kerberos mechanisms. So all this file will provide the identity provider, SAML metadata and everything, right? Same as like here, we have discussed about the IDP integrations with the BTP sub account level. We need to check it out here. We need to perform the sub account level. We have to perform, right? So IDP. So what are the identity providers currently in the market? So as far as I know, Okta is the one of the identity provider. So currently the most powerful companies like Oracle and some other Google, some other companies, so they are using the this Okta identity provider. So Okta and not a Google, I think Oracle. Oracle will using the Okta identity. Some other companies also they are using the Okta, right? And also we have the Azure AD or EDFS, right? And also we have the Google identity provider also we have, right? Google IDP. So like this, we have the number of identity providers are there here. Number of identity providers are there in the market which supports it. So BTP will support all these identity providers. BTP will support all these identity providers which will support, which means single sign-on. Once you authenticate with the Okta user ID and password, all applications you can access without any issues. Without any issues, you can access the all applications, right? So that is the identity awareness. So here, so last batch I discussed about the Google IDP. It's very simple. The same concept we will discuss here with a different identity provider, right? That is called the Okta identity provider. So Okta identity provider, right? So this is the one of the identity provider. Normally, so some of the US customers, most of the US customers are, so many, not only US, so many customers, they are using the Okta identity provider here. This is one of the successful identity provider. This is the Okta, right? Same as like Azure AD and also Google IDP. Google IDP, rare cases people will use it, but most of the times they will use the, so this Okta identity providers, they will use it here. So any identity provider, the work is common, the steps are common. Okay. So here, if I drop the step here, if I drop the steps here, if I drop the major steps here in the Okta side, what we have to do, and also in the BTP side, what we have to do here, right? So we'll drop the some steps here. In the Okta side, what we have to do, you need to create the app. So before you creating the app in the Okta side, so what you have to do, you need to, so the first step here, so download the high level steps, download the trust configuration, download the trust configuration. From trust configuration means download the your metadata, some SAML metadata from your BTP sub account. BTP sub account, you need to download it here, right? So download the trust configuration. Then once you download it, then step number 2 here, in the Okta or Google identity provider, whatever it may be, it's same. So in the Okta side here, in the Okta side, we have here, okay, in the Okta side we have here, so we need to go to the Okta admin console, either Google admin console or Okta admin console. Then there is an option, click on create app. Create app. You can choose the SAML2. Choose the SAML2 authentication. SAML2 authentication. You can choose it here. Then provide the details of your app name, and then you can enter the your ACS and entity ID. You have to enter here, right? So I will show you here how to do that one here. Once you enter the details and save it, right? All the steps here I'm giving the here. Then add the users, add the users in Okta admin console. Okta admin console. You can add the users here. Then go back to the here in the BTP side. Go back to the BTP side here. So in the go back to the BTP side here, the step number 6. So and Okta identity provide add the users. Then so here the step number 4, download the IDP XML file. The XML file you have to download it, means Okta, the XML file you need to download it. Then so import the Okta XML file, import the Okta XML file into your sub account trust configuration in your sub account level. In the sub account level, you can import it here. Then then you can perform the configurations. These are the high level steps. If I talk about these are the high level steps we need to work it out here, right? So here the first step, the download the trust configuration here. So log into your BTP sub account here, right? So BTP sub account level you can log in. So I think I'm in the destinations part. So let me open here. I have to configure the one destination here. But there is no dependency on your cloud connector. There is no dependency on the identity provider, right? Just to, I'm in the middle of, I have opened the one script. Just want to configure this sub account. This is exist or not, first of all. So this sub account is exist or not. First of all, that one we have to check it out. Okay. So I will check it out that later. Okay. So now we have to go to the security in the each sub account level. In the left side, you see the security tab here. Here we will do all the user management roles and everything here. So go to the trust configuration here. Go to the trust configuration. Go to the trust configuration. You can go to the trust configuration. download the SAML metadata. Download the SAML metadata. The data is opened here. So dev01 SP, the service provider. So the metadata is opened here, right? You can see here, metadata is opened here. Just you can open the metadata in XML format in the browser level. You can open it here. So why we have opened here means, so here at the end of the screen, you see here there is a ACS, assertion consumer service binding URL. This URL we required, and also the entity ID, the entity ID, the metadata entity ID, the entity ID also we required here. Metadata entity ID. These two we required from this XML file. That is the reason we downloaded these files here. Then what next? Once you download everything, then what next here? Right? So your step one completed. Download the XML metadata from here. Then log into the Okta admin console. Right? Go to the Okta admin console here. Right? So this is my Okta admin console here. Right? This is my Okta admin console here. So let me go back to the here admin console. This is the your Okta admin console here. When you go to the here, you will see the admin console. This is the your Okta identity provider admin console here, right? So here you can choose it here. So we have the I have the document. I made the document actually. So maybe let me open the document also. You will get the clear picture. Okay. So I made the document also previously, and also so not opening. Okay. So you can see here. Maybe let me zoom it. I hope you can see the screen, right? So here, this is the one here. So the trust set up the trust between the BTP and Okta here. So the first step is the download the SAML data from the trust configuration. Same thing we have done it. We have downloaded the step number one. In your Okta console, you would create a one application, add app. You have to go to the so getting started, click on the add app here in the single sign-on configuration, right? Same way, we will go to the here, right? We will go to the here. Then, so here you can see here, we will go back to the previous status here. Again, dashboard. So getting started here, right? Dashboard and getting started. Then here you can go to the add app to the use single sign-on. Just click on the create add app button here, right? So add app button here. So here you need to choose the click create new app, which is like SAML 2.0, SAML 2 identity provider, right? So then click on the next button here, right? When you click on the next button, here it is asking the app name. What is the your application? Maybe I can say like SAP ECP2, so Okta. Okay, that is fine, right? Maybe SAP EC2 Okta. Why? Because ECP is the our backend system. Why? Because this Okta authentication we can integrate to the our backend SAP systems also we can integrate it here. So that is also we are going to do here. Okta, something like that. Okta IDP, something like that. I mentioned the app name here. So if you have any logo, suppose you want to deploy any logo, you can deploy the logo also. So that the logo is available in your home page. The logo is available in your home page, right? If not, then you can leave it empty. Then just we can click on the next button, right? Maybe we'll put the one logo here. What's the we will only doing, right? So just we will click the SAP. Just we will put the one small logo here, SAP logo. Or because it should be colorful. That is the reason. So I'm putting the one logo also. Maybe there is a less than 1 MB here. So less than 1 MB here. So, but mine is 20. Oh, this is below only. It's below only. So why it is not uploading? It's in the JFG. Ours is the JPG. Okay. Yes, we got the link here. So now this is my app. Looks like my app look like here, right? Just click on the next button here, right? So here it is asking the single sign-on URL. Single sign-on URL. So what does it mean by? So this is like single sign-on URL here. This is the so your URL destination URL you have to provide it here. So this is the SP entity ID you have to provide it here. Entity ID you have to provide it here. So then this who will do that one? How can we get this all these things here, right? So you can see here, just click on the new app. We will go with the documentation wise. Then click on the, we selected this button. Then here, open the metadata file which you downloaded from the BTP, right? BTP side which you downloaded. Copy the URL, assertion consumer URL, that is the HTTP post, that is the single sign-on URL. In the single sign-on URL, here you need to provide that one. So that is the reason we opened this one, right? Assertion consumer URL HTTP post here. So this is the URL you need to copy here. Why? Because the mutual handshake we are so we are creating the mutual handshake. This Okta app and the BTP, the sub account level with SSO configuration with the MFA multi-factor authentication in the mobile. In the mobile itself, we have the one option actually. So there is in the Play Store, there is a Okta, right? If you go ahead and install the Okta in the mobile itself, the app will be displayed here. The app will be displayed here. App will be displayed in the Okta also, right? There is a Okta verify. So just you can open the Okta app, mobile app in your Play Store, so that whatever the apps in your mobile phone also you can install it. Then you can open the SAP GUI, SAP, all the apps you can open it, you can configure it here. All these things you can perform it. So I have already have the real-time experience on this one, this Okta mobile applications and everything, right? So that is the reason. So I'm saying here, right? So instead of first we will go with this one, right? Just configure the dev this one, right? Then so once you go with this one, just give the URL here, right? Same as like as per the documentation, give the same URL here, right? SAML authentications. So all these things you can give it here, right? So then what next here, right? So what next you have to configure it here, right? So here then entity ID, SP entity ID here, SP entity ID, you have to use it here. Entity ID means you will get the entity ID means from here, right? In the top, you can see the entity ID. So this URL you will get from the metadata, the XML file you will get download. So make sure the first screen, the top of the first line or second line, and the bottom of the second line you have to copy. Here you can see the clear information what to copy. If you miss something here, if you copy this one instead of this one, if you copy something like, then your URL it won't work. URLs it won't work it out. That is, I'm sure, right? Means SSO authentication will not happen here, right? So that is what we have to do it here, right? So name ID format, right? Name ID format, it's not the unspecified email address. So why? Because all users will log in with the email address, right? Then Okta username and everything here, Okta username and everything we can create it here. So then so suppose if you want to, there is a attributes also, there is a attribute statements here. These are the optional attribute statements. Maybe name should be, so what is the name, mail ID, user email. So this is the optional actually. Why? Because when the user log in, the primary is the mail ID here, right? We have to maintain the mail. So once the user enter the email ID, then he can log in here. He can log into the he can log into the systems here, right? So mail ID, mail. So just mail ID, he have to log in here. So these are the optional parameters. If you want to specify, you can specify it. Otherwise, you can ignore it. Then you can proceed further here, right? You can proceed further here, right? So that is the creation. We have to do it here, right? Just a group. If any groups, yeah.
Ravi, sorry to disturb. Yeah, you're mentioning some the parameters in the above for email ID for last name first name, but that is the criteria for using user can log in with the information or what?
Yeah,
No, no,
whenever
the
the,
down one.
yeah, name ID. Yeah, this is the email address same as like Okta username only. Name ID same as the Okta email ID only. Here he has to log in here. So means the name ID is the username for the in the Okta side. The email address means normally in your organization you will log in like, so maybe, so suppose like xyz at the rate of mycompany.com, something like that you will log in, right? So same as like
Mhm.
once you authenticate it here, the username also should match it in the authentication also. So username also should match it here. So then, so both should be match it, then only the SSO will work it out here. Otherwise, SSO will not work.
Okay, okay, little bit scroll down.
Down, right?
Uh,
These are the,
Down.
additional attribute
The
statement.
yeah, that is for login specification
Or
with
logins,
using of.
Now this is the login specifications. So login specifications means, so uh, suppose if the email ID is not matching, then what is the next attribute parameters here? Sometimes in the all the cases we will not give the email IDs, right? In the SAP side, you will not give the email ID, right? In SAP side, what you will do? You will give the user ID field, right? In SAP side, you will give the in SU01, in SU01, you will give the user ID in SU01. So then you will give the SU01 in the email ID here. So then in the username you are giving here, in the field here you have to enter the email address here. In the field you have to enter the email address here. So that what will happen whenever the authentication happens, it will come to the back end, it will check so whether this user having this email address is added or not. If yes, then only end-to-end SSO will work it out. So that is the reason you can specify. You can specify the some values here. So what you have to mention and everything. So first name should match it, or last name should match it, the user email should match it. So whatever you want to match it, these are the attributes optional. These are the optional parameters. If you want to put, you can put it out. Otherwise, you can ignore it.
Okay, thank you.
So then this one is not required. Just click on the next button here. So then you can see here. So just click on the finish. Feedback tab. Finish. Right? So your Acta app is created here. You can see app is created here. Then you can see the app is created here. So this is the metadata URL, the Acta URL which you configured here, right? So which is configured here. So this is the, so suppose if tomorrow you want to allow the users to secure their passwords, and if you want to update anything here, so you can update it here. So certificates, maybe certificate based authentication also we can add it here for users. So this is the user related so stuff which we created here, general settings here, right? General settings, whatever we created here. So all the URLs which we mapped here, right? You can see all the things are, so here we have mapped here. So any VPN notifications, so anything, suppose like if you want to by default you will take it out. So the mandatory thing is here, you need to give the single sign-on URL, then entity ID. These two are very entity ID. These two are very important here. So then only the authentication will happen here. Then only the authentication will happen here. Then only the authentication will happen to the users here. Right? You can see here. So I created the apps we have created. So like that, so we can perform the groups. Suppose groups also we can create it here. Groups. So groups also we can create it here. Why we have to create the groups means, suppose sometimes so all users we will assign like basis users in one group. So other users in a different group. So like that we can create the groups also created. For that group, instead of assigning one by one, so you can create the multiple groups. If you assign the app to the one group, so that all users will log in with SSO based authentication, they will log in here. All users, they will log into the systems with SSO. Like that. So we have the groups concept. Like that, we have the groups concept. You can see here groups concept, how we have so created the groups here. Okay, how we have created the groups here. So here you need to go to the directory and the groups here. Directory and the groups, we can go to the directory and the groups. People who require the access, the people, the persons we can create it. We can add the persons here, the username, right? So username we can provide it here. So must be on the email. Username must be on the email, to the primary email, right? Then also the secondary email, anything. So groups, if any groups, you can add the groups. So as of now, I have not created the groups. First, we will create the group here, right? Group is the very important here. Everyone, all users should get the by default, all users, right? Then you can create the, suppose if you want to create the one more group, and SAP BTP, 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 BTP users. Like that, I'm creating the group. In this group, what I will, yeah.
Sorry, small question. For this Okta, so I can use this Okta to integrate it to my Active Directory to import all whatever my user groups and all.
Yes, you can use it. You can provision the users from the active group, also you can provision it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
we have
Thank
the
you.
option. We have the option. I will show you here. So maybe if you go to the applications here. So if you go to the applications, not here, dashboards, getting started. Not here, dashboard. So somewhere I have seen this one. Can import the users from. So now you got it right. Active Directory.
Yeah, it's okay. No, no need. Just I want to understand the concept. Like later on, if any user created in my Active Directory or password change it, so there is how there is some integration between Okta and my Active Directory, right?
Yeah. Just you can add that Active Directory related details here, so that
Great.
yeah, you can see here the configuration works and everything. Set up the Active Directory, then just you can push the data, then all the people will comes to the here. So that's possible here. So that is possible to do that one.
Fine. Thank you.
So here
Ravi,
BTP,
in the group, so we can give specific user group to use the SSO and specific to don't
yeah,
use
yeah.
SSO. That also possible, right?
Right. So why I'm creating the group means some people are BTP admins, some people are BTP developers. So BTP developers require the access to the bash, so that the bash I can assign to the here. So some people they don't require the administrator, they don't require the bash. In that case, so why should I all the apps? Why should I assign to the developers? Why should I assign all the apps to the end users? Why should I assign all the apps to the my basis guys? You should not require, right? So, but if you create the group, then in a group, specific people, you will pull it out. Specific people, suppose like example, when you are creating the users in the organization, when the users join, whenever any person joins, suppose I am joining, Ravi is the one of the person is joining in the organization, right? So is the primary email ID is suppose like ravinder.0318@gmail.com, right? He given that one, right? So groups, what is the group name here, right? So what is the group name here? SAP. So BTP, something like that. Groups you have created, right? Just group you have created here. So then it's inside my record. So just if you want to reset the password, you can reset it out. Otherwise, it's not required. So just click on the save. Just click on the save here. So okay, I fill now last time. So maybe I can say like SAP. So must be, cannot be, username must be in the form of email address. So okay, but because we set the email, right? That's why we set it here. Then just click on the save button here. So then I added the one user here. I added the one user here. I have added here. Then I will go to groups. If you go to the groups, then so one user I have added here. Two groups I have created. Two groups I created. One user I added to the, so here one user I have added here, right? So one user I have added here. So Ravinder.0318 like that. So I have added here. Then this person will get the activation authentication account and everything. He will get it out. So right, see here. So welcome to the Okta. So then, so you will get the actions, then activate the Okta account, then set up the mobile applications and everything here, right? Just click on this activation account. Okay, we'll do it later. This is my Gmail ID, right? I got the Okta account authentication here. So like, so user has to set up is the MFA multi-factor authentications. So and everything. So normally when you join the organization, so normally the people, they will create the one user one email. Then you will, once you log into their Gmail, all the authentication setup, password setup, everything you have to do it, right? Same concept here, you have to do from your own way, right? So that is the reason pending for user action, right? Pending for user action here. So like that, multiple people you can add it to the here, right? Multiple people you can add it to the here, right? See, groups we created, then user has been added to the this group. Then so that suppose like user has been added, then BTP app created in the Okta, that is assigned to the group here. So here now the next point, what is that? So next point, so instead of I am assigning the application here. So whatever the application you created, so that application I am adding to the here. Sorry, someone is saying something. All right. Yeah. So that application I have assigned to the here. Instead of assigning, why I created the group means in the my people, hundreds of people are there here. Instead of going one by one and assigning this app to the hundreds of people, I select all the people, I assign it to the one group. Just I will go to the application. That application I will assign to this user. Then all users will have the access to this group, right? So that is the reason we created the group here. That is the reason we created the group here. So that is the reason we created this group and everything here, right? So I created the group, assigned here. Document wise only. So we are proceeding here. Document wise only we are proceeding here, right? So then the next one, what is that? Go to the application. So once you done it, user you created, once you done it here, go to the single sign on, go to the single sign on applications and a single sign on, go to the applications and a single sign on. Why? Because you need to download the one identity provider metadata, you have to download it. For that one, you have to go to the, so applications here, applications, right? Whatever the application you created, right? So that applications, you have to go to that application here, the Okta authentication application here. Then you can go to the single sign on method here. So you can see, you can go to the here. Then there is a option to download the metadata. There is an option to download the metadata here. You will get the one option here. Somewhere they have changed this option. Single sign on, configure the profile mapping and metadata. Metadata URL. Here, single sign on and download the, so certificate. This is a certificate, which your Okta certificate. It's not required for us now. So there is a certificate. There is a metadata option. You will get it out. Maybe this is the URL, I guess. We can download it. Previously, it was added to the here. Now we can download it. Download this XML file. Yes. So this is the XML file. So we have to download it here. Maybe let me save this as a XML file here, right? Metadata XML file. So maybe I can make it as a Okta identity provider. So previously we have downloaded the, so previously we have downloaded the BTP authentication, the SAML data we downloaded, we imported into the, so your Okta identity provider we authenticated, right? Okta identity provider we imported here. Now you have downloaded the Okta then you are importing into the here new trust configuration, sub account level, trust configuration. Then here new trust configuration, upload the XML file which you downloaded here, right? So then, so what is the name here? Name here, what is the name here? Okta 2. So dev 01. This is our dev 01 sub account, right? Dev 01 BTP, something like some naming convention. It's something meaningful here. What is the leaning? Okta IDP login. This is the URL is very important here. This URL link takes to the user's login. This is the very important. Okta IDP login. Okta IDP login to Okta IDP login. Okay, that's fine. Then just click on the why I mentioned here something meaningful. So why it is so important here? So you will come to know here. So then you have created the you have created the one new identity provider. You have created SAML identity provider. You have created here. Then just go to the here users. Go to the users here. So then maybe you have Ravinder. So suppose you have to create the one user there. One user here you have to create it here. Same user. The BTP side you have to create the user, but here instead of you assigning the default identity provider, as of now you guys are using the default identity provider, right? So both the side the metadata we imported, exchanged the mutual handshake is happened both the side now, right? Now you are creating the user here in the BTP side. You are creating the user, but you have choosing the Okta IDP, not the default identity provider. If you choose the default identity provider, what will happen? Then we will get the thing like you will get the things like so yes, user ID or P user ID, it will ask it, not the Okta ID, right? So what is the email ID? Same email I can provide it. Who will, right? Same here, you can create it here. Same Okta identity user created. Then what is the role you are going to assign to this user? Role collections. Then assign the role to the user here. So what is the role? My GUI role I want to assign to the here. Just assign to the user here, right? And also I want to assign the BAS related administrator developer roles also I want to assign to my user. These two roles I have assigned to the user now. So now you can ask user to log in. Then what will happen? Right? What will happen? Now I will ask user to open the BAS, right? Application, you will open it here. As soon as you open the authenticated application, now you will get the things like this here. Instead of directly asking your default identity provider, yes, user ID and password, here it will get the one screen, you will get it out here. Why? Because you have integrated this one. Then here you have the Okta IDP login. So why I mentioned this Okta IDP login when I'm creating here, right? So when I'm creating the trust configuration here you can see here I have mentioned the Okta IDP login, something like that I have mentioned. So that detailed information you have to give it there. You have to do that detailed information you have to provide it to the there, right? Okta IDP login. Then maybe if you want, this is not something meaningful. So maybe if you want to change it, you can change it. It's not a problem. You can change it. Whatever the naming convention you want to proceed, you can proceed it. Not a problem, right? You can edit it anytime. You can go ahead and you can edit it, and also you can delete it also, right? You can edit it and also you can delete it also. Now just click on the Okta identity authentication here. Okta identity authentication here. Now user is not assigned to this application. Why? Because here I have not done the initial setup here. I have not activated my account here, right? Just click on the activate the account here. Then so once you activate the authentication, set up the password here, right? You have to set up the password. Okta passwords you have to set up. Then click on the OK button. Then you want to set up the authenticator app. So you have in the mobile phone you have the authenticator app. So if you want to set up that one also, you can set up it. Otherwise, just you can set up later that one, right? So then your Okta dashboard is connected now. See here, whenever you this is your home page here. Whenever you log into your mobile with this URL or with the app with the authenticate app, then you will get this URL and the apps will be assigned to your user here. just file is like it will assign it to the here. So you have assigned the Fury something app you have assigned here. Just click on this button. Just click on this button. Then that will be go to the authentication password. It is asking here. Authentication password. It is asking now. Just go ahead and we give the password, one-time password, just verification purpose. The first time, right? So give it, set up everything. The authentication will happen here, and also you can also set up the your scan QR code, mobile devices. In the mobile also you can authenticate it, everything you can proceed it further that one, right? So that is the authentication you have configured. That is the mechanism you have enabled now, right? That is the mechanism you have enabled in the systems now, right? Now, so now open the application. Now open the again one more application here. Let's see the authentication will happens or whether we get the any user or not. Let's see here, right? So why? Because here I given the Gmail ID, but let's see whether it will work or not. Why? Because so let's see here we have to provide the organizational email ID, not the Gmail ID actually. So organizational email ID we have to provide it, not the Gmail ID. But let's testing whether it will work or not here. So then Okta login here. Whenever you log into the Okta, now it is asking the single sign on here. Then just click on the, so enter the password here. Then security method protect your data. So it's mandated to we have to set up the Okta verify also. Let me scan from my mobile. I'm scanning to my mobile here. I'm opening the you will get the pop-up whenever. So if you want to log in, this kind of multi-factor authentication, right? So just whenever you want to open, so just organization. So add the account. Hello. I'm just scanning. Scan the QR code. Yes. Means one app. So more security features we are enabling for this one, right? So if you want, you can see in my mobile phone. In my mobile phone, the biometric things I have enabled here, so that I can access the app from my mobile phone also. I can access the app from my mobile phone also. See here, as soon as I touched my fingerprints here, immediately you see BAS is opened with my user. Did you see here? So did you see here? So as soon as in my mobile phone, the notification came to my mobile phone here. As soon as, let me see you here. Okay. As soon as you open this one, normally now it is authenticated automatically. But what I will do here, I will open the separate browser here. Okay. Separate browser here. I will take in the private browser. Then just open this one. Now Okta IDP provider here. Now, so just I will enter the username. What is your username here, right? So just I will go to the my 0318 here, right? Just click on the next button here. Then so here you have which type of authentication modes you have to enter the code, push the notification, get the password here, right? Just I want to push the notification to my mailbox here. It means it's kind of multi-factor authentication I have enabled. Just click on the select button here. Then you see in my mobile phone, if you want to open, I can enable it video. Just you can see in the mobile phone. So let me share the screenshots in my mobile phone in our WhatsApp group, right? So just click on the yes button. See here, as soon as you click on the yes button, then immediately, so it will authenticate it here. Immediately it is authenticated. Then single sign-on is happened. Then you connect to the BAS. See here. It kind of more security roles you are deploying, more kind of security roles you are deploying in our applications, more kind of security roles you are deploying in our applications and everything you are deploying here. So that is the what. So we have done it here. So now you open anything here, the push will come to your mobile phone. The push means the push notification will come to the mobile phone. Then you can access anything here, right? So here anything you can access it here, right? So this is the MFA, multi-factor authentication. Why? Because it's in the public network. We are not sure. So nowadays everything is getting changed, right? In mobile phone, all the OTPs, all the OTP authenticator app, everything you are getting here, right? Everything is a small, it's changing. The IT is getting changed. Like we are in the 5th generation, right? That's why S4HANA and so 4th generation. We are in the 4th generation business suits. We are in the S4HANA and everything. So it's everything is getting changed, right? In our mobile phone itself, we are doing the business using the Fiori apps. Same as like here. So the one of the identity provider, Okta identity provider. So they are providing the MFA authentication mechanism. So not only Okta, in the Google also we are providing the multi-factor authentication, right? Same configuration here also, same, right? If you open this one, you will get these things here, right? So this is the configurations of this is the configuration you are doing here. So whenever you open the app, if you select the IDP, then all the identity provider users will log into your systems here. So that is the one. Like normally, when you join the organization, normally to your Gmail, you will get the welcome email. Then you will log in, you will set up your authentication and everything. Then that's fine, right? Then that will happen here. So then this is your organizational sign-in page which I created here. Then everyone, whoever I'm adding to the here, you will get the apps like this here. All the business apps, timesheets app, everything you will get it out here. If you open the app, then your backend, so the authentication is happening. See here, the authentication is happening. So, but here I have not routed any URL, nothing like that. That is the reason where to something like that I'm getting here. So, but this is expected. This is expected to opening the URL from here, right? So that is what. So currently we have so this one, right? Now authentication is happening from the others, right? Everything it is working now. Authentication and everything now it is working. So that is what. So we are doing here. Let me open the maybe my Fiori app as well, right? My Fiori app.
Ravi, one more. Sorry, Ravi, one more. So just I want to ask one question. For this, we set up single sign-on an application, right? For a specific application, right? So if I'm going to
Okta to your BTP, Okta to BTP we have enabled now. Okta to BTP we have enabled now. So now I want same to. So suppose this is your identity provider, right? All users are here in the organization. So this is the BTP here, right? This is the BTP here. This is the BTP concept. So here that is fine. But in our on-premises systems also, we have the some users they are using the Okta, some users they are using they don't have anything SSO configurations and everything. So in this case, what you can do here? In this case, this is the SEC, this is your SAP system here, right? So after that, you can ask the question. If you don't, if your answer comes, then SEC. So then SAP, right? So then this is the your BTP sub account level. So this is your Okta, right? Okta homepage. Why? Because all users, suppose if you are using the Okta identity provider for the user authentication purpose and everything, then everywhere the once user is logged in with the Okta username and your organizational account, suppose like so ravinder.mycompany.com, if you log into the mycompany.com, maybe ravinder.trainings.com, so that at the rate of trainings.com, then once you log into your organizational account, organizational laptop and everything, so same user, same apps will be propagated to your BTP here. Why? Because the Okta to BTP, BTP to Okta, we have configured the identity provider configuration we have configured here. Now I want, so suppose here BTP authenticated fine. Whenever you click on the any app here, the app will go to your backend SEC system, then SEC to SAP, it will go to the here. Then, so here SAP side also I want to the SAML to configurations. Why? Because here I am one time I'm authenticating me as like user ID password. I'm entering one side. When I'm logging to my organizational, my day starts with the sign in to your organizational account. Then you are signing with the some MFA, some OTP you are giving, you are entering into your IDP here. Then after that, you in the same laptop, all the apps, everything should be authenticated here, right? Then from here to here, you have configured the authentication here. In the BTP side, so you have the one app, right? Suppose like one of the so web GUI app here. When you click on the web GUI app, but definitely it will ask the user ID password. Why? Because in the backend system, you have not configured the SAML2 configuration. You have not done it here. right? SAML2 configuration, or so that authenticate SSO mechanism you have not configured. So from here to here, authentication will work. From the BTP side, whenever you click on the app, immediately it will ask the ECP user ID password. It will ask it here. The call will go to the here. Then here it will access. It will say that okay, in your SAP system, the SSO parameters, ICF parameters are not configured, so that it will ask the user ID and password. It will ask it here. Again, the user has to enter the your backend ECC system user ID password. They have to enter it here. Then only the authentication mechanism will work. No, I don't want to like this, enter the my user ID password in the backend also. I want to, this one also should be authenticated. Whatever the user is propagating here, same user should be propagation. Same user should be propagated to my backend SAP also. Then what we have to configure here also, right? So that is the secondary concept. So this is the from here to here. This is the concept here. Now you can ask me your question.
Yes, yeah. Just you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like BTP, it's like SAP portal. So business users will log in using Okta, right? One
Yes.
time, and whatever application assigned to them, so they should click on this application or Fiori tile or something like that,
Right.
and
My app.
it should not prompt for to enter user and the password again.
Right.
This is what I'm. Yeah.
Right. You are correct. You are correct. 100% you are correct. Yeah, that is what. Like see here. One more time. I will open here. Just clearly see here. I will close it here. So this is the URL you have given to the user to open it here, right? So if the user is already authenticated with his organizational account, user ID and password, then it won't ask. Immediately it will authenticate it here, right? Immediately it is authenticated now. But because in the same browser, organizational browser, you have already authenticated, right? With the user ID password, you have authenticated. Suppose here you have not authenticated here. Let me open my one more browser here, right? Here, just click on this button. Then, so here it is asking the your Okta IDP login or default identity provider. So default means your P user ID and email ID password you have to enter. Okta means then again you will get the push to your mobile phone. So 3 layers we have configured. Again, you will get the push to the 3 layers here, right? So 3 layers. Either you want to enter the code or get the push. Now this time I will enter the password here, right? Just I will enter the pass instead of the push notification. I will enter the password here. Then immediately you will be so authenticated. Immediately you will be authenticated to the here, right? So immediately I think I have not configured this one. Enter the code. I think I have not need to set up here. Only the push notification I have configured here. Then where is my mobile here? Yes, I got the notification. You can see the sound, right? Just click on the yes. Now see, as soon as I click on the yes, my fingerprint authentication is done. You see, automatically see now, done, right? You got the notification. Now it authenticated. Did you get it? Right? It authenticated. But BTP, BAS is in the BTP itself, it is available. So that is the reason it authenticated automatically. But you can configure it everything here. But so I will assign the one more app here. I will open the one more app here, but it will ask your backend user ID and password. Suppose like I will open our Fiori, right? Just I will open the Fiori. Sign in automatically, but it's not seem to be you are looking for. So this is not, so you don't have the authorization to access here. Authentication is done, access is denied here. But because the roles, the mistake what we will do here, the roles here, the role which is assigned to the Okta identity provider, the roles I have not assigned properly here. BTP launchpad roles I have to assign it, right? Suppose like launchpad admin role I have to assign it to my user here, right? Now just you can log in again, just log out, just log in, IDP. Now see here, authentication is signing to the ECP app. Now see here, portal is opened here. Now open maybe directly open the URL here, this URL homepage. Now you got this one. Now directly. Why? Because the WebGUI app I assigned. So this is what we have to give the users, right? The home page, the Fury home URL, we have to give the users here. Let me open the one private incognito mode. Then you can assign this one. You can ask user to open. Then how do you access the badge? Same way you can access to. You can ask them to access it here. So the authentication is happened here. Just click on the OK button. Then it will open here. It will open here, but service is not reached here. I'm not sure. So because I have wrongly configured, so that is the reason we are getting the error. Right?
Ravi, this is not configured in the ECC side, right?
SSO I have not configured ECC side here. SSO we have
So
not.
you should ask password, right? So when you enter WebGUI.
Yeah, I should ask it. But here, the cloud connector configuration I have not correctly done it after the our server is encrypted. The configuration I have not done it here. Let me do it here right away because you will all get the so because I have that's why I am trying to do in the initial itself 214. I will go to the my cloud connector. Is it 214 is configured anyways? 214. I think it's configured. 214 is configured here. And this is a sub account. My sub account. This is a sub account. Then go to the sub account here. Go to the cloud to on-premise systems. So here you have the SAP ECC PRD and 8000 is available. Okay, SAP PC virtual host name is SAP ECC PRD. ECC PRD 000. Okay, let me go to the here. My destinations here. So SAP ECC PRD is there here. So, but let me delete this one. Import the destination from gateway. Here the here I can say SAP ECC ECP, right? ECP. So here is the ECP 100 client, my production client. Here what I will do here, I will configure the HTTP colon slash slash. So SAP ECC PRD colon 8000, right? So here what I will configure it here. Here I will configure the on-premise systems here. Here I won't mention the anything here. Principal propagation I will mention it here. So principal propagation means so whatever the user you are authenticating here, same user so will be authenticated in the backend also. Same user should authenticate in the backend also here. So that is the reason I am giving the so principal propagation here. Same user will be propagated to the backend system here. So what is the client here? You have the 100 client here. So like that you have created, just click on the save button here. Then check the connection test here. Then connection test is successful here, right? Go to the site directory here. So check what is the destination you have given to the your backend system here in the app level. So what is the destination you have given here? SAP ECC PRD you have given. So S000 you have given here, right? Now you got the app here. Just check it out whether it will work or not here. So some internal server error we are getting here. Let me check. Let me modify here. So here we don't have any PRD, SAP ECC. So ECP is there, PRD is not there, right? I wrongly given that one. So then GI HTML. So then S000. So that is the initial transaction code, right? S000 home page transaction code. So then that is the one here given. So this is fine. This is fine. Everything is fine. So fine, right? So now what exactly happens now when I just refresh the browser, right? Just click on the OK button here. Let's see here what will happen here now. something is happening in the back end now. Okay. So some services usual or something like I have to activate it, right? So I have to go to the backend system here, ECP, where is our ECP? Basis and because we have not come up to this situation like backend configuration and everything. Maybe there is a one usual service, we have to activate it here. Usual, USHEL, is it correct? SHELL, usual, right? Usual service. So usual unified service, you have to activate it here, right? You have activated the unified service and everything now, right? Go back here. So gateway timeout is occurred here. Now let's see any errors here. The get method. Got it. Get method getting here. Won't accept. Why? Because principal propagation we set up. Principal propagation we set up here. So does not match the recipients. So the principal propagation we set up. Let me change the destination here. Let me change the destination to now simple no authentication. Okay, no authentication on prem, no authentication here. Go to the here browser, just refresh the home page, then click on the OK button. Right, now you can see now it is we got it now. Now we got it now, right? Now we got the home page now. See here, now we got the home page now. See here I can enter the user ID and password, so I can navigate it here. So why it is not accepting the backend? It is not accepting. So this is newly built system, and also we have not changed any parameters here. There is no nothing is there here in that system. Nothing is there in that system, right? We have not changed any. So there are the 4 or 5 parameters which will authenticate it, the cookie. Then immediately we'll get the SAP screen and everything. You will get it out here. So that backend SSO configuration we have not done it. Why? Because some certificates, renewals, everything we have to perform it. So that type of things we don't have in the on-premise systems, right? This is our training system. That's why we have not done it. But definitely once our backend system is ready with some parameters, so maybe tomorrow we will work on our backend system configurations. As part of the backend system configurations, you will get the one more concept is called the SSO configuration. So SSO configuration also we will come to know here, right? So now the authentication is happened here. Now app also opening fine here, right? Now app also opening fine. Then you can enter your user ID and the password. You can enter it. You can log into your backend system. But here the ECC, the backend system authentication is not happening. Here you need to enter the user ID and password. You have to enter it here, right? You have to enter the user ID and password. You have to enter it here. So normally, so you won't get here, right? So you have authenticated here ECP, then you got the ECP system details and everything. So you can check it out here, what's happening in my system and everything. You can monitor it here. So this is SAP system is opening. You can monitor it from ECP system. You can monitor it from here, right? So let me go to the Saint. Why? Because the backend one component I'm upgrading here in the backend system. So that is in the import underscore proper still. That is in the import underscore proper still. It is in the import underscore proper. Maybe tonight it will be complete. Then we are good. Yeah, it is opening, right? Backend system is opening. Like that, you can also configure it here. Like that, you can also configure your mechanisms and everything. You can configure it here. So see, authentication is working, but up to what speed? So up to here, it is working. Up to here, it is working. But when it's reaching to the on-premise systems, your SAP system, so SAP system is not accepting the SSO configuration. Why? Because in SSO side, as you know, right? So to configure the SSO, the prerequisites parameters are, so login slash, so there is a accept, maybe you can correct me, accept ticket. I forgot all those things. So ticket, and also the login slash, so login slash, and also there is a create star parameters. These parameters we have to enable it, and also two more parameters we have to configure it. Then only whatever the user you are authenticating here, same user will be authenticated here. Here you are logging as a Gmail ID, your email ID. Then how the email ID should be as a username, right? In the SAP side, what you have to do? In the email ID, you have to maintain here. In the user ID side, in the user ID field, you have to add the email ID here. Then only the SSO mechanism will work here. Then whatever the email ID you assigned here, so that the user can log in with the SSO configurations. Right? So this is what the entire, so Okta IDP integration. Yeah.
So are you going to complete this live session tomorrow? I mean, complete this task.
Yes. Tomorrow we'll complete this task also.
Okay, we'll get a clear picture what has to be done.
Yeah. So now you have the picture, right? What we have to do.
Yes,
here,
correct.
what you have to do
From
here.
Okta to
And,
BTP.
yeah, but what you have to do in the back end, we know there is some 4 parameters. So I have a track. So what parameters we have to change it. So there is a normal SSO authentication purpose. So if you guys have the experience on the SSO in the SAP systems configuration, SAML SSO configurations in your organizations.
No, sir.
Okay. So if you have,
Kerberos we did, but SAML